Hello, Katy Cain with Avenue Real Estate and
Joa Cain with Avenue Real Estate.
and today we're bringing you a video busting the myths, the top myths posted by Inman in regards to the real estate industry. So Joa's going to ask the question and I'm going to answer it to the best of my ability.
And while you're watching this, if you think of any other questions you'd like us to answer, you can comment on right below this video. So the first myth is the agent keeps all the commission in a deal.
Well, the public really needs to understand that the agent doesn't keep all the commission, right? So if you're the listing agent, you might be keeping some of that, but if you're not, you're also paying the selling agent. If you're the listing agent, you're also paying all the marketing expenditures related with it, as far as your online promotional pieces, syndications, subscriptions, print and promotional pieces. You have support team, you have other people that are doing things, drone photography, you name it, down to the sign in the yard that costs money. So yeah, I would say that you don't just walk away with all of that.
The next one is the typical commission is 6%, right? We get that all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and ethically, you can't really say that there is a standard commission. Each market is different, and what you pay can depend on what services are offered as well.
Mm-hmm. The next one is, she kind of hit this before, marketing expenses aren't the agent's responsibility.
And again, this goes back to what type of company you're hiring, but our company is a full package. So what one property has, the next one's going to get the same from a marketing standpoint. We like to treat them all as though they are equally important to us, and our responsibility to market to the fullest of our ability. So yes, the seller in our company standards does not pay for the marketing expenditures related with that.
Okay. The next one would be a home passes or fails a home inspection.
Yeah, I get that a lot, where what if the inspection doesn't pass? Well, you have the inspection and the inspection doesn't necessarily pass or fail. An inspection is broken down into categories of deferred items, meaning these are things that are probably, past half of their life and you should probably save because they're going to be, the hot water heater is going to break down or something like that. The other things would be things that are defective, so not operating. Or could impact the safety or structural or the longevity of the property. Those would be the things that a lot of times a buyer may object to and ask a seller to fix. And so it really opens up the door sometimes for negotiation again, to say, hey, these are a couple things that maybe you didn't know were wrong with the property and I didn't either, and that's why I had the inspection, and can you do a couple of these things and I'll take care of these after. So really you're opening it back up for negotiating at that point. Sometimes the buyers are fine with the results of the home inspection. Sometimes they things are found out that nobody knew about. And other times it's just simply informative for the buyer because they could be buying their first house and they are then coached through the inspection as to how to really maintain and take care of the property.
Yeah, exactly. I always encourage my buyers to attend the home inspection just because you can learn about your property, like she said, even if there's nothing, a huge defect that comes up, and they end up not asking for anything. So kind of a follow-up to that is they have to find something in the home inspection, don't they?
And, not necessarily so. It can be informative, like I said. The inspector isn't, required to find something. But again, it goes back to the education that happens there and just really knowing what to expect on each of the mechanicals, the roof, the exterior, the plumbing, the electricity, really what's going on inside the property itself. So they do not have to find something.
Yeah. The next one is a huge myth we have to bust probably on the daily. Zillow says, therefore it is.
Yeah, so the Zestimate, right? So the Zestimate, I find more times than not to be false. Reason being is the way that Zillow studies a market is they basically take a property and they draw a circle around it within a certain radius, and then they add up the sold properties, and then they basically divide by the sold property number. So they're basically telling you an average, and sometimes those properties that they're comparing it to to find the Zestimate aren't even a like style property. So it could be a 2-story 1900 farmhouse and a new construction over here, and they're not comparing apples to apples. And when an appraisal is done on the property, it's going to, for instance, on a ranch, only select ranch style homes within a certain mile radius. And so to say the Zestimate is always right is to say that the assessment is always right, which isn't true either, right?
Exactly, yep. The next one would be, when making an offer on a home, you need to start with a low offer.
Well, in today's market, you'll find that that won't work at all.
Yep.
Right now in 2019, we're still seeing the market on a slant up. So it's, to start with a low offer right now is not really going to be in your favor, especially if the property's new to the market. They're selling fast, they're having competitive offers, multiple offers on the same property. And so if you start low, a lot of times the seller isn't even countering today. They're either picking offer A, B, C, or D, right? And so in a market where the law of supply and demand equals out, starting with a low offer can not always be to your advantage, because the seller could be a little more resistant for the overall negotiation if they're insulted in the beginning. If the property's overpriced and they've had some price reductions or things like that, then they're coming down to where the market should have them. And so that doesn't necessarily mean that they should be undercut that much more.
Exactly. The longer a home is on the market, the more negotiable the deal is.
It depends on the situation and I guess the motivation there too, but the longer the home's on the market doesn't necessarily mean the more negotiable the deal. I mean, it could be that, you know, they didn't know where they were going in the beginning. They started with price too high. There's a lot of different variables that can come into it. For all we know, I mean, some of them have, you know, where financing fell through 1 or 2 times with buyers that the property was under contract, right? So, I mean, it could have been under contract for 60 days of the term that it was on the market, and all of a sudden the buyer couldn't obtain financing. So it really depends on that specific property and the story behind it, and you have to do your due diligence and researching to find that out as an agent, so that your buyer is informed about what went on with that property and why it's been on the market as long as it has.
Exactly. And we're going to finish up with a big myth. All agents are the same.
Well, I would disagree with that. I think, you know, just as attorneys and physicians and other professionals have their specialties, right? I mean, you're not going to go to a brain surgeon for your throat, right? You're going to go to maybe an ear, nose, and throat doctor, right? So finding the agent, some agents, you know, you can be the jack of all trades, if you will, but I would say, you know, agents aren't the same. Every agent has a different reason as to why they're in the business. Each agent has their specialty and their niches. Each agent has a different level of experience. Each agent offers different marketing platforms, whether you're, you know, for a seller. So really, I would say no agent is really the same, and you really want to know about your agent and what they have to offer if you're buying or if you're selling, to really see what services they can offer. And there's really a large difference as far as, you know, full-time and part-time agents, and really to check their references and look at their testimonials, right, and look at their reviews and to see what they're doing. And who they are, and but I think every agent has something to offer. It's just a matter of what you're looking for. And so, in closing of this, our thought was, if you have questions that maybe you have about real estate, about the profession, about the industry, about buying, about selling, please post them under this video, and we'd be happy to answer them for you. And then moving forward, we thought, depending upon the feedback we get from the audience, that maybe we would open this up to a Facebook Live event that we could have each week, where you could ask your question, and right there on live we could be answering it for you, to be open for communication that way. And if you have a question that you don't want to post, feel free to contact us individually, whether it's on social media, email, call, text, and our contact information can be found on our website at www.avenueret That's
Thanks for tuning in.
Real estate team. So, all right, as your local real estate professionals, we hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and post your questions too. Thanks.